Eagle2Eagle initiative and Faculty2Faculty NACCE 2020 COVID-19 track. With that, I want to just remind everybody that we hope the outline for us here is to really discover new platforms to promote a culture of care, learn how crowdsourcing and peer mentoring played an important role in the online transition, and it continues to play an important role. And then also, how do we apply and learn how entrepreneurial initiatives can bring cross-functional teams together to support our institution. Christine will provide the perspective of the students. Richard will provide us the perspective from faculty, and then I'll try to provide some perspective as a entrepreneurial staff member. All right, Christine, take it away from here.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. My name is Christine Malpoint, and I serve as the District Student Government President, which is going to be our United Student Council. So just to give you an overview of what HCC looks like on a day-to-day, there are 26 campuses that are broken down into 6 smaller colleges, and each college has their own SGA. And then all of those SGAs work with us, the United Student Council, to make sure that we get the issues all the way to the district administration and champion the concerns at that level. And so pretty much when COVID-19 started, all operations for this massive chain of command had to stop. And it was very disconcerting for student government officers because we were like, well, how are we going to best support our students? To dive a little deeper into how much outreach we were doing on a campus-to-campus basis, we had each officer had to participate in at least 2 office hours per week. We had 4 General Assembly hours per month. We had several 3-hour events. 6 is the minimum. We definitely did a little bit more than that sometimes. And so just from an outreach perspective, from face-to-face, it took us 70 hours a month, and then $2,300 of t-shirts, like these nice polos, giveaways, snacks, and all type of different things. And then, of course, you see the avenues we have here, which is going to be our HCCTV that assisted us. And then a couple of the Microsoft features like Teams and a couple other things that help us reach students the best that we could in the time that we had. So looking at the statistics, after you see 70 hours per month and $2,300 for the semester alone of just promotional materials, across our outreach platforms, we only really reached 351 of our 20,000 students at the Northwest College. And that was a pretty big deal because we were the largest SGA. So when COVID started, we can go on to the next slide. It was very apparent that Facebook was, everybody was on Facebook, everybody was on social media. And so working with Mr. Ravi and a team of students that he already had, we looked at the Eagle2Eagle Facebook group. And so now with the Eagle2Eagle Facebook group, we're seeing students, faculty, staff, board of trustees members, all congregating in this one space where we could support each other and drive people to the website. So there were online events. There was a mentorship tab that had about 30 mentors. We had membership questions to ensure that each person who was coming into the space did in fact either work or attend HCC. And then in the short period of time from March to now, we got up to 1,700 members, which is an outstanding outreach for not just student government, but for the entire college to see exactly what was going on. Next slide, please. When we looked at the breakdown of the statistics, we reached about 19 countries, which I thought was exceptional, and it really spoke to Houston's diversity. We saw people from 18 to 65-year-old regularly participating, an average of 134 posts and comments a day. We had 33 mentors on the mentorship tab, which was students mentoring other students, faculty members kind of stepping outside of their classrooms and being support. And then, from us only being able to reach students during school hours or via text, we're now reaching students exactly with the information they need from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. every single day of the week, which I thought was exceptional. Next slide, please. We did have a lot of really great online events. So Mr. Ravi and a couple others worked on some Cisco training so that students understood how to use the online platform. We saw stress management, yoga, led by SGA. We had some administrators come on and talk about some of the questions that students had about the CARES Act. what's coming up next semester. And then our exceptional HCCTV media team would actually do a daily show where they would talk about what's going on the campus and in the community. Okay, what the United Student Council was able to take away from this was exceptional. So first we saw that students had financial aid concerns. And from this platform, they were able to see what was working and what wasn't, how students were feeling about what was going on, how did students identify in the system, right? So like maybe students were saying a particular word like a refund when it really was a scholarship, or vice versa, right? And so financial aid was able to track those patterns. Because then within the group, we were also able to see like keyword categorization so that we could quickly get to the responses and say, okay, here's what a student is saying. How can we support the college to make this better? Also on the topic of emergency aid assistance, we saw a ton of students who genuinely needed emergency aid for technology, for the things that are going on with their family, for loss of job and income. And it made it so much easier to come back to our administration and say, hey, this is what our student body is saying. We know we don't have a formal survey, but many of you are in this Facebook group. We want to bring you very real and valid concerns. And we were also able to get the amazing financial aid executive director, Ms. Saucier, to come in and just to host a talent hall and explain to students start to finish how the CARES Act money could be distributed and how they can get access to the funds. And it was very beneficial to both students and the financial aid department. Another big area of concern was going to be that fact that students were lacking technology. And so through this group, we were able to see the college financial leadership, including our board of trustees, really understand that students needed financial assistance in terms of scholarships. So they gave away plenty of financial scholarships so that students can purchase laptops or like Wi-Fi in their homes instead of having to sit in the parking lot of somewhere in the community. And it was just really great for administrators to meet students exactly where they were and not feeling like they were so far removed that they couldn't even support the students. The last largest portion of the communication and online assistance area was just the fact that from this group, we could kind of see the regular traffic patterns of how students were coming into like our virtual lobby. And then they were able to actually shift the hours of the virtual lobby to pretty late in the evening to accommodate students and make sure that they were available to students at the best time. Student Life also got very engaged with the students and hosted like fun Monday activities and gave away gift cards. And a lot of students said it just kind of kept their spirits up and it helped them feel that even though they weren't on campus, somebody was still there for them. We were also able to run very short surveys on this platform that even though it didn't get like maybe the best sample size of HCC as a whole, the administration honored it as so because we saw so many active students who are currently taking classes engaged in what we were discussing on the page. So I think that the outcomes of a Facebook group like this in any institution are the three big points. We are looking at transparency and accountability, successful crowdsourcing, and then larger student outreach. So going back to transparency and accountability, we knew for a fact that these were verified students, verified faculty members, and people in the community coming in to support and serve these students. We were able to survey results or have survey results published for the entire student body to see so that nothing can be from a personal perspective or skewed in any way. And then having administrators come in and just like, it was really great to be able to like tag my dean in something and to say, hey, you can reach out to like the dean, this is her, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, the dean's on Facebook? Like, yeah, like, you know, and so it was just really great to have them there where they were with us, right? Like they're people too. We saw a lot of successful crowdsourcing. So there was a lot of student tutoring and mentoring, right? And just sharing resources and information, sharing experiences, like people were checking on each other's mental health. It was just such a nice environment to be a part of. A lot of resource navigation. So people posting direct links to the websites, showing them how they can purchase from the bookstore and different things to that magnitude. And then also textbooks, swap and resell. Of course, in a way that is safe, but at least it allows students who are going through some financial hardship to have a place to do that because they weren't on campus. And I think ultimately, if we could implement this for the entire college and make sure that each student has access to this group, if we're looking at the 46,000 students that are enrolled in HCC this semester, we can reach, in a perfect sample size, right, if they all join, up to 4,500 students, 91 hours a week, 7 days a week. And I think, or 7 days, 91 hours a week. And I think that that is an exceptional amount of outreach that can be done. I think this will really allow students to really connect with all that HCC has to offer. Like Mr. Ravi has done like amazing things with the Center of Entrepreneurship, and there are great things to get engaged in there. Mr. Gosling emailed me about this really great Constitution Day event that they had. And it's so sad that unless students are involved into these groups, they don't really get to see all those things because there's so much things being put out. But if they were able to come into this group, we'll see a space where most of the student body will be really educated about all that HCC has to offer. And I think that students, faculty, staff, everyone in the community would love to see that as much as possible. So I think that, thank you very much for supporting Eagle2Eagle and making this a possibility for students, because I think it was probably one of the greatest things that the students were able to participate in during the pandemic.
Thank you so much, Christine. That's a great perspective. And yes, we truly, everything we do is centered around our students. So appreciate the perspective that you presented. Richard, if you don't mind, share us the initiative that you took on bravely during the first week of that spring break or before spring break, and selflessly gave your time. Take us away, Richard.
Thank you for that kind introduction. I should clarify that when this whole thing started, I was a frontline faculty member. I was not a dean. So that interim dean thing was recent. I've only been on the job, I think, 3 months now. But when we were on break, a friend of mine, Ruben Duran, who's a senior web developer at Central College, said, "Hey, Rich, you think you could come down here to the campus? I've got something I want to show you," right? And it was Kaltura, which I already knew about Kaltura, but he wanted to show me about Kaltura Live Room. And he says, this might be something that we need to do to help transition the faculty to complete online instruction, just in case the college closes its doors. And sure enough, within a matter of days, that's exactly what the college did. So we kind of got lucky that we were a little bit ahead of the curve. I can't say that this was planned necessarily. It was just we felt the need to do something. And so the Faculty Video Lounge was really just created on an emergency basis, truly. Many times I like to joke around that it was like building an airplane as it's going down the runway. And so that meant it wasn't always pretty, but it was functional. So we weren't really too worried about pretty. And what we did was we used our own LMS, our own learning management system, which is Canvas, to invite faculty, invite them. We didn't make them go into this lounge. And we figured, hey, if we get 50 or 100 faculty members sharing ideas, this will be fantastic. Well, we got that number just in the first week. And by the second week, it was 300. By the third week, it was like 800. And now we're north of 1,200 faculty members inside of this lounge. Now, they don't all come to the live events, but they do come to the record. They do come and watch the recordings of the events that already took place. Ravi, if you don't mind, you could push the next slide. Oh, yeah, I guess this is a video. Are we going to play this video, Ravi? Or
let's try it. Let's see if the audio.
If it doesn't, we can just abandon it. But this was I'll give you a preview, a recap. This caught the attention of our local affiliate of ABC News, Channel 13. And they did this little interview, which actually was an interview not only with faculty, but staff, and also students were featured here, quite prominently, I might add. So go ahead, Ravi. Let's see what happens.
Grades for HCC, the transition to virtual learning came suddenly and unexpectedly. We kind of saw the writing on the wall that things were going to head south. We didn't know that this was going to be for the entire semester, but we said, we need to at least be prepared, even if this is just for a few weeks, to transition online. It was economics professor Richard Gosling who created HCC's virtual faculty lounge. The Faculty Video Lounge was really just a place where faculty could get together to share ideas and to perhaps help one another. It was really a very modest start. I wasn't really expecting very many people to join us. In fact, in the first few days, we only had a couple of dozen professors. But that number quickly multiplied. I mean, I figured, hey, if 100 people come, that would be a smashing success. There's over 900 faculty members in the lounge now.
Now there are workshops in the faculty video lounge all day long.
And in the beginning, we had only a couple of dozen workshops, and last week we had 71 workshops, starting at 7 o'clock in the morning, and the last one ended at 10 p.m. The folks that are teaching here are just diverse. I got somebody from industrial electricity, manufacturing engineering, sociology, hotel and restaurant management. So it's not just academic, it's workforce, how to use WebEx, how to create videos.
Even with unprecedented challenges, HCC is proving it's more resilient than ever.
I think the biggest thing was just the lack of interaction. Even if the student physically can't be with you, at least if you're able to see you after the fact in a recorded video, that really kind of allays their fears, because they go like, oh, this is a real human being. Here's my professor. I can see his or her smiling face. In many ways, I think our college will actually wind up being stronger as a result of it, because I think our online instruction will get even better.
I've actually learned so much from my professors. They guide us through the way, hey, so try this instead of this. I'm really thankful for HCC to be there and help us out.
Thanks, Robbie. Is that the end? I think it is, yeah. Well, here's some data, and some of this data is a little bit old because we did this a couple of weeks ago, and the numbers have gone way north of what you see here. But there were over 9,100 live room sessions, easily 41,000 students, including faculty members who were attending these sessions, and about 10,000 hours of instruction. I've been informed by Ruben Duran that number is close to like 13,000 hours of instruction, which is incredible. You can click on the next slide, Rob. These are just some lounge statistics, so you can see it's very active. We have like 5,800 views in the media gallery, 2,000 views on course announcements, 1,800 tags on course discussions. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, if I saw this in one of my regular courses, I'd have a heart attack, right? That this many people were watching. 944 videos were looked at. And this was just like a snapshot, right? You can go to the next one. So in a nutshell, the Faculty Video Lounge provided training over a 7-week period in the beginning when we were in full-fledged crisis mode, right? We had 41 instructors. These are volunteers who were not being paid any stipend or anything. They were doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. All I did is ask them. And I had no position of authority or anything over any of these folks. They did it out of love for the college, out of love for their students. And I mean that sincerely, because what other explanation can there be for that? Including both academic and workforce. And I think that's the most beautiful thing that came out of this, is that both academic and workforce came together. Whereas our worlds didn't often intersect, sadly. And so I was able to meet so many new faculty members and made so many friendships that are going to last me until my retirement and beyond, right? We had 85 different classes that were offered. It was phenomenal in a little over 300 sessions. Yeah, you can go to the next one. So we wanted to figure out, what do we do now? Right, this is crisis mode, but we can't continue to operate in crisis mode. We got to go beyond that. So we wanted to see, what can we do to transition from the crisis to go to some semblance of normalcy, right? So we asked faculty to determine their needs with a brief survey, and we even gave them an opportunity to rate our performance. And it was pretty phenomenal what we heard. Not just the pats on the back, but the kind of suggestions that we got. All right, so faculty members were actually given an opt-out survey because we didn't want to bug them, and we knew that they were under a lot of stress, and we didn't want anyone in the lounge involuntarily, right? So we never surreptitiously dropped anybody in the lounge. It was only at their request. And so if they ever asked to be opt-out, no questions asked, and they would be out. But we also gave them an opportunity to rejoin. And many faculty have, like some of our faculty were 9-month employees, so they went silent in the summer and they said, hey, Rich, can we join back? I said, of course. And we would just click, activate their session. Rather than remove them, we would just deactivate them, which was a little different. So the faculty that chose to stay were essentially consenting to receive our emails from the training team. concerning upcoming sessions. And the promotion of the sessions was really crucial. So we really gained a lot of trust from our fellow faculty members, and we earned a lot of goodwill, and that was a really big part of that. We had somebody, each faculty member was responsible for organizing their own modules that were organized by topic. The videos were placed there. Any kind of important documents that they needed to download were there. And each trainer was really responsible for cleaning up the module and making it look right. And Ravi knows that we had other faculty members coming in here, like Mohammed Nima, who came in and cleaned it up and really made it look more aesthetically pleasing, because in the beginning it was kind of ugly. But these are the kinds of things that we did: assignment strategies, communication strategies, gradebook management, PowerPoint, pedagogy, even Office 365. Ravi gave us a clinic on Office 365. And not only that, he was our WebEx hero. I know he's going to be embarrassed by my saying that, but he was, because he was responsible for training literally hundreds of faculty members on WebEx. The list goes on and on and on. So I'm going to stop there. But this is just a quick video demo. And if Ravi, if you want to click the play button.
Okay, welcome to the Faculty Video Lounge. When you log in for the first time and you're at the home page, you'll see announcements of sessions that are coming up. You'll also see a training schedule, a join a session button, and the recorded sessions. Let's take a look at the training schedule. When you click on that, you just click on the most current schedule, and it will pull up in a PDF format. And as you scroll down, you'll notice that your mouse actually becomes a clickable link when you hover over the meeting links. Once you click on any one of those links, it'll bring you directly to that virtual lounge that was created by that particular professor that's hosting the session. Let's go back to the home page. If you're attending just a Kaltura session, a generic one, you just click the Join a Session tab. And once there, you'll either be asked to log in as yourself or switch accounts and log in as a guest. And that's pretty much how that works. I'm going to navigate away from this page and go back. So that's the Join a Session. The recorded sessions, if you click on those, you'll see a list of all of the previously recorded sessions here. And there are tons of them. Breakout groups, Kaltura for presenters, hosting and recording Kaltura from your phone, engaging students in small groups, online library resources. The list goes on and on and on. And all you have to do is just click on load more, and you'll see all of those recorded sessions right there. If you click back to the home page, you'll also see, in addition to that, a Faculty 911 page, which I want to show you right now. If you click on the Faculty 911, you'll see a list of faculty members along with their email addresses and their telephone numbers that have been published and the topics that that particular person covers. So if you have a question, don't hesitate to reach out to any of these folks. There's about a dozen faculty members there ready, willing, and able to help you. Let's go back to the home page. And then the other jewel here is the Canvas modules. So you can look at Canvas Basics, module creation, quiz and test banks, gradebook management, software, WebEx training, discussion management, you name it. And once you click on any one of these topics, you'll be brought to a whole host of other resources that are available there. So you can see them right there. Discussion management, WebEx training, Kaltura and video creation. And these are all managed by individual faculty members who have agreed to edit and maintain these modules. In any event, we hope you enjoy the Faculty Video Lounge. And of course, if you ever get the inkling to actually volunteer as a teacher, we would love to have you on board. In the meantime, take care and best wishes.
All right. Well, and volunteer they did. So we've been really happy with that. So the new emphasis now has been a shift to teaching pedagogy. And the reason for that change is really that's our core strength as faculty. That's our comparative advantage, not just the button pushing and the point and the mouse clicking, right? And these are some of the examples of things that have gone on. Innovative students assignments using pop culture or literature to engage our students. This has been quite popular. I've used economics in the movies, and I have also used sitcoms to motivate my economics lectures. Rather than having a pure lecture, you can do like a 1 and 1.5 minute little clip from a sitcom and then discuss maybe the economic significance of that sitcom. I have a whole series of these on the economics of Seinfeld, which I know sounds weird. But anyway, students love it, even though Seinfeld is beyond, it was many years before a lot of the students here that are attending at the college. Classroom games and simulations, collaborative learning, teaching marketable skills. I teach my class using Microsoft Excel, and that's an example of that. And then, of course, video literacy, digital storytelling, media in Canvas, interactive video, accessible videos. Ruben Duran is the one that spearheaded this movement. So we had collaborators from all across the college, including, as Christine pointed out, HCCTV, who was instrumental really in promoting the lounge and also helping faculty members on the technical aspects of it, including other things like department media repositories and the basics of media in Canvas. And then, of course, Faculty 911, which I already alluded to, so I won't spend too much time talking about this. But basically, these faculty members just selflessly gave it their time and just said, hey, look, you want to call me, dial that number. And by the way, we use a Cisco Jabber so that those office numbers would ring directly to the faculty member's cell phone. So we didn't publish any numbers that were going to just go to some voicemail. It was going to go directly to their cell phone. And I thought that was quite brave because some of those faculty members were taken up on that and they were calling them. So that's Faculty 911. Partnerships. We recognized that we needed to partner with other groups. That's the reason why Ravi has been a part of this. It's the reason why library services, we've had at least 6 librarians in the Faculty Video Lounge helping us with digital resources. It's amazing. I would say there probably was the most giving group out of every group. And I know you never want to make favorites, but in this case, I just can't deny the contribution that they've made. It's quite significant. And so we realized that we needed to leverage the power of other experts and organizations because we can't do it all by ourselves. It's just not possible, right? As you've seen, if we didn't have the help of Christine and her group connecting up with the folks that needed to give students help, I mean, this thing wouldn't have worked the way that it did. And probably we couldn't have planned it better because it was not planned. It kind of just happened out of, necessity. And then the Microsoft Office training team, which of course Robbie did a lot of that, was to help faculty with various programs that are part of our suite. That team was responsible for recruiting faculty, provide the training. Ravi even did one on LinkedIn, how faculty members can promote themselves on social media in a professional way. And those sessions were published just like all the rest of the sessions, and they became really a part of the unified schedule. And like I said, partnerships with HCCTV, Tony Rao Sutherland is the HCCTV producer, coordinated directly with the Faculty Video Lounge. She even offered her own sessions, which was phenomenal to be able to get that kind of professional assistance on technical matters. It was really amazing. And also HCCTV was instrumental in keeping our public informed of the transitioning to online instruction. And then library services, here I am tooting their horn again, but they really were crucial. Reliance on their expertise for digital media access, giving orientations. Some of them were personalized just for one professor in their classroom, helping the students as well. Jennifer Stidman, Alexa, Ramella, Marlinda, the list goes on. And I felt embarrassed even to make this list because the list is even longer than that. But we could only fit so many names on a page. And then we're now on to you, Ravi. So that's the end. And of course, we're going to field questions at the end. So thank you so much.
Richard, thank you so much for that faculty perspective. And then I'll get a chance to share the staff perspective. And I'll start off, if I remember correctly, I think I had a video that launches, and then it would tell you how the Office of Entrepreneur Initiatives, how our focus from external community, small business owners, to now trying to teach the entrepreneurial mindset to internal students and staff. So students, obviously are internal and external, but the idea there was, how do we get that to our staff and faculty?
I would like to welcome Maya DeNovo and Robbie Brownberg to the show today. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. Thanks for having us. So today we're going to talk about the Office of Student Innovation. And I would like to ask you, Maya, how did all of that start? How did it begin?
Well, the beginning of the entrepreneurial journey at Houston Community College really began with a business plan competition on the northwest side of Houston. That was really the beginning. We started with a business plan competition. We developed our first Center for Entrepreneurship. On the basis of that work, we won the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Initiative. And then on the basis of that work, we won a grant through the Department of Commerce for the Minority Business Development Agency. So we had a lot of initiatives and activities for small businesses. And then all of a sudden it occurred to us, my goodness, we need to start serving our students. So Robbie joined the staff really initially to develop a curriculum for entrepreneurship and innovation and social entrepreneurship. So he came for the first year and he worked on that curriculum, which exists to this very day. And then we started having discussions about, we need to start having activities for students. And that gave birth to all kinds of events and activities to really get HCC students engaged in entrepreneurship and to start thinking about solving problems and solving issues. It's good to start a business, but it's also really wonderful and creative to think about solutions that we need for our society.
Absolutely. Right. Oh, wow. So how did you get Robbie on the team? How did you meet him and bring him on board?
Well, actually, Robbie applied for a position with us to develop initially the curriculum. And he did that for a full year. He did a terrific job. And then we started talking about activities for students. And in the middle of that, Robbie realized that we did not have an app for students to use on the phone. Mm-hmm. And he went ahead and developed it. So we gave that to the administration. They were very impressed with it and said, oh, we've got to keep this guy. So we put together a job description, and the rest is history.
So what's the future? What are you guys looking forward to the future for this department? What opportunities are you trying to reach and meet?
So we've done a lot with the Houston business community. We've got a lot of partnerships. We've got a lot of collaborations moving forward. But we haven't done as much internally within our own community college community. Yes. So that's really going to be our focus next year. So we're going to do more things with students, but also trying to get faculty and staff involved, because we know we've got faculty that are not only interested in entrepreneurship, but probably have their own businesses. And likewise, we've got several staff members that have started participating in our events. So we really want to engage the college community more.
That's a new horizon. First you did the students, right. Then you're doing the community, now you're bringing in the internal staff.
Right.
That's wonderful.
So really, that was the charge from Maya DeNovo, and you heard it. Her goal really was to engage the faculty, and I think that she probably even predicted that COVID would cause us all to need these skills and services that are entrepreneurial, that are resource driven, that we needed it. And when she shared that we created the apps for HCC, or at least my office did, it was because of a student on an SGA panel who said, I wish the website was more responsive because we are having trouble finding things, and the search feature at the time wasn't as supportive as students needed it. So the students said this was a problem. Office solved that problem, and effectively got myself a director position. So it wasn't planned, but I got a chance to write my own job description, which is, I'm always thankful for that. So thank you. I want to say, Maya really is the fearless leader who advocates for her team and knows when to get out of the way to let us kind of explore and create these things. And this was the vision board of the office when we wanted to create student change makers at the college. Really teaching our students to care, think, act, or design, act, and make. Right. That was the elements that we wanted to engage our students in. And then we, had the curriculum, developed, but we really needed to find pipelines of students outside of the class to engage them, to get them to realize that they can build skills, that they could be mentored, that they could be, networking with one another, and then obviously exploring the Houston's startup ecosystem, ultimately getting them to have that efficacy and have that effectuation of I can be an entrepreneur with what I have and be resource driven. So that was the mindset we were already, applying for students. And then, as Maya said, how do we take the services that we're offering out of the Entrepreneurial Initiatives Office and then apply it internally to our community, to our faculty community and our staff and partners. And this is where my role with Richard and Christine kind of plays, an important part. When COVID happened, we were doing a lot of these things. I'm a tech entrepreneur. I've sold 3 different tech ventures before joining in the education space. And I could, tech comes easy to me. That's what I call my superpower. I could do that well, but there are other things I can't do well. Richard's a fantastic presenter. Christine can she is an amazing, powerful speaker. She can wow, the crowd, as she did. So, there are skills that we all have. How do we get people to find those skills and amplify it? And how do we, bring that culture of championing a collaboration, creativity, and innovation to our internal and our student body and so forth? So that became the mission for me as defined by Maya. And she, gave me the borders of where I need to bounce around, but then she gave me full creative freedom to go and do so. So that really helped us, build this culture where we talk about the willingness of wanting to change or wanting to improve. So when you talk about, with Richard, when, he had the opportunity of just putting his hands up like some of our faculty and saying, I can't do this. I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna bother with this. But then Richard had the willingness to say, I need to learn this so I can also support other faculty members and teach them. And believe me, he learned very fast. He was, he wasn't an expert starting COVID, but he is now the master expert of Cultura and so many other LMS tools because of his willingness to act, willingness to engage. And then what he did is he built that ability with those skills that he's learned. Now he can take that ability and apply it towards his will to change into this transition. So I really think that, this is how our office can support great faculty like, Richard and those who are willing and want to build skills that are what I deem as the 21st century skill set, that if we can offer these trainings, if we can support them, then we're going to, walk out of this way stronger than before. We're going to have that sense of community that we're proud about, but then also that culture of care. So the example of, with Christine, her willingness to take a leadership position with the SGA and the United Student Council, but then her ability to use Facebook, which is, a lot of colleges are afraid of acting on these social media platforms because there's so many, legal liabilities that can come about. But unless we actually explore some of them, one of the things was, making sure that we only allow current or former students. So just, learning the Facebook platform, putting some rules and some group moderation settings, and then giving admin and moderation access to 41 other people. That included the trustee of the college, that included a faculty member, that included her and I, that allowed us to kind of mitigate that risk of using a social platform to deliver the message at a very affordable cost compared to what she mentioned they were doing already, and at a higher engagement. So cheaper, more effective, right? 21st century skill. And that's the ability that now she is able to take with her when she scales it to 46,000, 51,000, whatever the number of students, that is officially today, and really scale her impact. Again, her sense of culture, community leads to that sense of culture. So, we want to support that. Now, one thing, the charge that Maya had is about innovation. We need to teach that process of improvement and introduction of new ideas and policy to solve old and new problems. So I think the way we can really embrace innovation and grow it, which is what HCC has done tremendously well at this 2020 and beyond, is to get the culture of HCC, the culture of care, combined with this culture of innovation, to build this sense of community, to really help us, what I call the new model for us: care, trust. It's so important. Design, build, act, innovate, grow, pride, and change maker. So you saw the cycle is a little bit longer for us now, because we're introducing some elements that are really for internal folks, right? That we need to be able to trust one another when we're working. So Richard and Christine's trust of me and my trust of them, that, hey, you know what, if we commit to something, it's going to happen. We're going to deliver. We're not going to throw anyone under the bus or anything like that. It's our genuine effort to work together. And please feel free to reach out to us on our email. You can also find us on our LinkedIn, and then obviously my co-presenters, Christine and Richard. I could not be more proud of the work you guys do. So thankful and honored for the opportunity to work with you. Thank you.
Thank you, HCC. Fantastic presentation. You guys are doing phenomenal work at HCC. We were so thrilled to have Maya with us in Nashville at our Leadership Summit, and to honor your school as our Entrepreneurial College of the Year. So congratulations on that award, and for a great presentation today.